The most wealthy people on the planet track their expenses. Most of the time, it's an accountant for them through their business. But like, they want to know what's going on with their money. It's kind of like, I'm a baseball fan. It's kind of like keeping, track of your stats. I'm also updating my net worth on a regular basis. I'm trying to keep track. It's like keeping score. So keep score every month about how well you're doing financially. Nobody else cares about your money. You got to care about your money. You've got to be the one who cares about where this money is going. And so one of the things that I have done is I'm a big foodie. And I wanted to start learning how to cook so that we didn't go out to restaurants all the time, and particularly junk food all the time. I read this book, man, I can't remember the name of the author, Pollard, I believe his name is. It's called Food Rules. And basically his whole food rule was eat whatever you can make. And so I took up that challenge and I said, oh, okay. Because he's basically saying eat real food is at the end of the day what he's talking about. And because if you're eating junk food, they're putting so much preservatives and sugar and all that kind of stuff. And he goes, instead, just eat what you make. And so I said, all right, this will kind of kill two birds with one stone. I started to learn how to cook. Saved money not going out to eat. Could still have the whole family come over for Sunday dinner, and I'm sitting there cooking for them. So I get the instant gratification of my family liking the food that I'm preparing for them. I get a kick out of that. And so I started to learn how to cook. I started getting into it, right? Started watching YouTube videos and whatnot. Guys, I'm a really good cook. I make jambalaya, right? I even started getting into making my own bread. I know this sounds weird. It's like, what is this dude talking about personal finance as this wealthy real estate investing mogul, and he's talking about making his own bread? Well, for me, it's something I can control. I can't control everything that happens throughout the day. I can control the recipe and the food and how it tastes, and then I get instant gratification from it. I prepare it, I make it how I like, and I can eat it, and I can share it with people. So I like to cook. It's one of my hobbies, right? I like to golf. I like to go to live events, sporting events, concerts, that kind of stuff, and I like to cook. So if you're ever around, if you're ever in town, let me know and I might whip something up for us. But one of the things I did make is bread. But I don't just make bread. I don't go to the grocery store and take the flour and put it in my KitchenAid. No, which by the way is a mixer. I may lose all street cred that I've got talking about, cooking now. But hey, I'm just trying to make it, I'm just trying to tell you how you can help, reduce some expenses. And one of those ways is to cook for yourself. So I don't make it from flour that you get at the store. I actually order my own wheat berries. If you've never seen a wheat berry, it looks like a little seed. So I have wheat berries that I get brought in by the 5-pound bag. And I take those wheat berries and I have my own grain mill. So I put it into a grain mill that then produces the flour. I then take the flour and we'll make bread out of it, right? With my bread maker. But I will also make pasta. I make lasagna out of this stuff, right? So here I am making lasagna sheets it goes from grain berries to milled flour to lasagna sheets. I guess that's what you call them, lasagna sheets. I then make my own pasta sauce. I call it gravy. I make my own gravy using, the sofrito and all that kind of stuff. I then make cheese with some bechamel, and we make this homemade lasagna. Guys, I'm going to tell you, you go to Olive Garden for their lasagna, this doesn't even come close. Mine goes, it's almost like it's not even the same thing. It so melts in your mouth. Unbelievable. And the total cost of this to make this awesome, great lasagna that my family loves is like $8, right? Instead of going out to an Italian spot and spending $150. I'm not saying you got to go make your own freaking lasagna. Certainly not out of wheat berries. That's like unrealistic. I'm just telling you a story about some creative ways that I've done to try to help that monthly expense budget, that spending plan, you're going to come up with other stuff. There's other things that people talk about where they, instead of going to the movies, they're staying home and making a movie night with the kids, right? Where you're making popcorn and you got the candy and you're serving it up like the old school movie theaters used to be. Maybe instead of again flying to Florida for a vacation, maybe you stay home with something else. I don't know what it is, but at the end of the day, the whole point of this, to reduce your monthly expenses, is to get it to a number that you can live with, that you can make happen on a consistent basis, that you can say, we live on $10,000 a month. Because now you have a target to aim for. Now you have a target to aim for, not your salary. Like your salary has a job, which is to acquire passive income, okay? The money that you make has a job, and that's to go buy cash flowing assets. But you got to start with this spending plan that you can live with, that can make it so that you are aiming for something, that you're living the life that you want to live on a month in, month out basis, and that you're saying, hey, as long as I acquire, think about it. Let's just do basic math. If you're living on $10,000 a month and you can go get some cash flowing assets that produce you $1,000 a month, you just need to go acquire 10 cash flowing assets. Could be stocks with dividend, could be businesses that pay a distribution. My favorite, most controllable, most predictable is real estate. Go buy 10 rental properties that throw off $1,000 a month a piece. And you're like, well, how do I buy 10 rental properties? That's what this show is about, to teach you how to buy those assets, how to work the real wealth formula. I bring experts in here to kind of help us with all these different kind of angles, and we talk about it ad nauseum to kind of make it so that you understand exactly how to become a real estate mogul, how to become a mogul and follow the real wealth formula. That's what I did. That's how I was able to retire when I was 31 years old. Regardless of the age, don't get caught up on that. Get invested in the process. And part of the process is reducing those monthly expenses so that you have a target to be aiming at, so that you and your family know we can live for the rest of our life on this and do it over and over again. That you're not working just to survive. You're working to thrive by acquiring cash flowing assets that produce passive income that become larger than your monthly expenses and therefore become really wealthy. That's real wealth. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we've got another episode for you. I'll catch you on that side. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button right now. You don't want to miss the next episode. Every week, we drop practical money strategies and real stories that'll change the way you think about wealth.